Let's pause for a moment and reflect on the issue of conflict that is a timeless ingredient of the human species. It is invariably about possessions, tangible, such as land resources, or intangible, such as religion, whether they be at a personal or societal level. Triggered directly or indirectly by leaders who want to acquire and control because of need or greed. The aggressor. Against leaders who currently have the rights, the defender, no matter whether the latter have rightly or wrongly obtained these rights. There are 4 outcomes of the possible conflict. 1. Avoid the conflict altogether. One side or the other capitulates. 2. Negotiate, where the stronger prevails, as it is seldom that the strengths in various forms are balanced. 3. The aggressor activates the conflict. And 4. The defender activates the conflict. Potentially dispensable resources such as money, manpower, weapons, and transportation, at least, are required when it comes to wars and rebellions. History, written by the victors, omits the fact that the battles are always accompanied with inhumanities on both sides, on and off the battlefield, such as murder, pillage, rape, and scorching of land against innocent and often neutral civilians who just want to get on with their lives. This behavior is exclusive to the human species and condoned, even encouraged, by the leaders of the battles. The victor then subjugates the besieged land with its own populace and language. Between 18 and 1900 AD, over and above the massive evacuation of an overpopulated Europe, there were 250 rebellions and wars involving European countries. What is not documented as clearly are the number of conflicts avoided and negotiated. Over 2/3 of the wars were related to colonization all over the world. Fighting abroad, with the British leading the way, followed by the French and the Spaniards, the latter literally losing ground. The British even traded opium from India to China. The other 1/3 of the wars were on European continent soil. Britain fought her wars abroad and at sea, not at home. Later in time, this latter phenomenon also applied to the USA. Wars were financed by governments and behind-the-scenes financiers with vested interests. There was enough manpower in the overpopulated Europe to go around when one considers the number of offspring most families had. In addition, European countries enlisted conscripted soldiers and mercenaries from their colonies. The British, by the royal ties, acquired manpower from some Germanic duchies, in particular the Hessians, the Hussars. In conclusion, leaders portray the inherent negative human species traits to the extreme, ignoring the principles promoted by their own establishments. During these turbulent times of wars and famines, the first phase of the Industrial Revolution began in England from about 1750, hotly followed by Europe and North America. The primary focus was on producing iron in a large scale, which in turn resulted in the emergence of more powerful munitions and the steam engine, which in turn resulted in large-scale manufacture of machinery and the railways, thereby reducing animal and human labor. Bear in mind, horse-drawn public railways, as distinct from animal-drawn carts, did not begin until the early 1800s. Britain was the major producer of pig iron, 47% of world production in 1870, initially supplied the USA, but by 1913 it imported from the USA. The pig iron graph is also indicative of the change of inherent economic power amongst countries. This, of course, needs to be adjusted when one considers the wealth obtained from the colonies with the aid of slave and indentured labor. In 1866, the New York Times published the following article: "There is, in political geography, no Germany proper to speak of. There are kingdoms and duchies and principalities, inhabited by Germanic speakers, and each is separately ruled by an independent sovereign with all the machinery of the state. Yet there is a natural undercurrent tending to a national feeling and towards a union of these entities into one great nation, ruled by one common head as a national unit." Three episodes proved fundamental to the unification of Germany. First, the death without heirs of Frederick VII of Denmark led to the Second War of Schleswig in 1864. Second, the unification of Italy provided Prussia an ally against Austria in the Austro-Prussian War 1866. And finally, France, fearing Hohenzollern encirclement, declared war on Prussia in 1870, resulting in the Franco-Prussian War. Prussia prevailed through a combination of Bismarck's diplomacy and political leadership, Van Ruin's military reorganization, and von Moltke's military strategy. The unification of Germany in 1876 included the kingdoms of Prussia, Bavaria, Saxony, and Württemberg, with many duchies such as Hessen, Baden, Mecklenburg, and Brunswick, and free Hanseatic cities such as Danzig, Bremen, Hamburg, and Lübeck.